for your body to stay healthy. So we start talking about water by looking at water as an element that is a detoxifier. And we ask the average person, how much water do you drink? The average person might say, I drink 4 glasses, I drink 6, I drink 8. Then we have to go a step further and ask the person, well, what do you eat? Well, we have to now understand that you might drink 8 glasses of water, but if your diet is very sound, very solid, with very high acid foods, then the water that you have will still not do very much in helping to prevent disease. So let's look at water for a minute. The average person, Janet, would you say the average person drinks tap water? Average person.
Yeah, whether they know it or not, yeah.
They drink water from the faucet.
Pretty much.
Well, that water, most people might not know, it has chlorine in it. Now, chlorine is the same chemical that's used when you wash your clothes. Chlorine is bleach. So now, they are drinking water that has bleach in it. Let me ask you a question. Would you give bleach to your children and grandchildren? Any of your friends' children? Would you tell them, go into the laundry room, take some bleach, put it in a glass, put some water in the glass with the bleach and drink it? Would you do that?
Absolutely not.
Pretty much not. But this is what mothers are doing when they tell their children to go and drink some water. Go and get some water out of the faucet, drink some water, as well as themselves. We now know that chlorine helps to damage the heart. So we have all of these people in our community with heart problems. A lot of them drinking the tap water from the faucet that has the bleach that's been damaging their heart. People should go to the city, get this report, water report, and they'll see all the different toxins in the water. And they need to go to Google's and they need to put in each one of these toxins they see in the water and see what is the effect that this toxin has on my body. Then they will find out these toxins contribute to some of these health issues that they're having. So the first thing we say, let's say when we were growing up, we were drinking tap water, we were drinking faucet water, and we really didn't see any problem with the water. Different locations, they have certain amount of water that there's more bleach and less bleach. I took a trip to Mississippi, and I test water everywhere I go. Water that I tested in Mississippi, even after I ran this water, cleaned this water, and to improve this water, the water still had bleach in it. Bleach was in the water after we ran the water through a filter that was supposed to get all the bleach out. There was still bleach in the water. The point that you could taste the bleach. This bleach, we say, would add thickness to your heart. So the first water we start looking at is tap water. And we say, you don't need to drink tap water because if you do, you're going to be drinking bleach, and that contributes to heart problems. That's the first thing. Then we start saying, well, now that you know you should not be drinking tap water, what kind of water should you be drinking? In this discussion that we're having about water, we find that there's other waters we've never heard about. Some of us have heard of water like distill. Some of us have heard of water like reverse osmosis. Some of us have heard of water like smart water. There's a water on the market. Have you ever heard of it, Janice?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about all of those, the enhanced with minerals, distilled, smart water, ethos water, yes.
So let's talk about the smart water for a second, because people are getting duped out of all their money, thinking that they're buying water that's going to make them smart. Well, in fact, the smart water has a certain degree of acid to it. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. Body's pH, which is called potential hydrogen, runs between 0 and 14. Foods that we eat, the liquids that we drink, they are somewhere in between 0 to 14. Water that we drink on an average is supposed to be about 7.35. Supposed to be right in the middle. Milk is like that. Milk is like 7.0. That's why you can live off milk, and milk only when you're babies, because it's a neutral between acid and alkaline. Carrot juice is like that. It's 7.0. That's why you could.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Juice being very, very, very stable, because it's like milk. That's why carrot juice is the most stable of juices. If you were to drink it, that would help your blood and help your body be healthier. And so, with these particular elements of the pH, we find that 7.0, the pH that you should be drinking of water, higher than 7.0. The average, you should be drinking an 8 to a 9.5 pH. Tap water is a 7.3, but it has bleach in it. Smart water is around a 6. So the smart water is less healthier than the tap water because of the pH. Even though the tap water has the chlorine, when we look at waters, the most two important elements is the pH, the potential hydrogen, and then the type of hydrogen. Is it a negative hydrogen or a positive hydrogen? So when you drink tap water, that's a positive hydrogen. When you drink Evian, you heard of that water? Very expensive French water.
Yeah, it's been one. It was the standard. Yeah.
It's supposed to be one of the better waters. When you drink,
right.
Drink Spring Mountain, when you drink of Mountain Spring, when you drink of even now Nestle, which is a milk company, sells water. Pepsi-Cola sells water. Coca-Cola sells water. The water that Coca-Cola sells, that water comes from the Detroit River. That water comes from the river itself. You could go to Detroit, get some water out of the river, and that's the same water that you're buying when you buy it out the store.
Really?
You could have gotten it free. You could have got it free. In fact, that water is so bad that it's banned in Europe. They don't even allow the water to be sold in the store. Found a couple of dead people in the river that has made the river toxic. Found this toxicity. They don't even let that water be sold in the stores in France. So, so now we know that we have water. We have different types of water, and we have different pHs of water. And we know that smart water is not quite the best in the healthy water, but because it says smart on there, most people get duped by the marketing. Marketing, it's saying smart on the water. Now, the water called reverse osmosis, this water helps to pull calcium out of the body. Who have been told they need reverse osmosis. This water, when the calcium is being pulled out of the body now can go into osteoporosis.
And so the water that has that is Dasani is reverse osmosis. I remember that because I didn't know what that meant. So I looked it up. I was like, what is reverse osmosis? What does that mean? And when I looked it up, and it, just in a random, thing on the back of the bottle, they say if you have any questions or comments, call us. And I always wondered if that was really true. So I actually called them, and I was like, do you know that reverse osmosis is actually not good for you? And I just found that to be so interesting because it's right there on the bottle. You look at the bottle, it says process with reverse osmosis, enhanced with minerals for taste. And you just put it in a Google or a search engine, and there it is right there.
Right. So, but people don't know that the reverse osmosis pulls calcium out and helps to cause osteoporosis. So the average woman, let's say by the time she's 60, if she's been drinking reverse osmosis and she starts to develop porous bones, her bones started to become weak, and she thinks it came from something else. It could be coming from the water, the reverse osmosis that she's drinking. It could come from that causing her to develop a disease that could cause her bones to become brittle and cause her bones to break, cause her hip to break walking down the street. So the reverse osmosis is something that people need to know, that this is helping them to become diseased. One nurse friend of mine, she was drinking the reverse osmosis. She went and had a bone test done and found out that she was getting what we call osteopenia, which is the beginning of osteoporosis, which means porous bones. Your bones are getting holes in them because they're losing the ability to hold on to calcium. Now, what made me interested in learning about waters was a doctor named Dr. Mona Harris, who was world-renowned for studying water, studying how water affects the pH of the body, studying how that affects the specific gravity in your kidneys. And so she started educating me about water. She said that the Japanese were the most advanced people in knowing about water. She said that the Japanese had developed the healthiest water in the world. She said that the Japanese developed this water because the Japanese had become bombed during Pearl Harbor when they dropped atomic bombs on their major cities and killed millions of people. Well, when they killed all of these millions of people, the part that we didn't hear about was that their land was poisoned with the smoke of the atomic bomb. The radiation was so bad if you was breathing it, it would burn your face off. It would cause your lungs to sear. The toxins were so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Besides destroying the land, this atomic bomb dropped this mushroom of smoke that destroyed their water. Their water was totally destroyed. They could not drink it anymore. So the Japanese scientists went around the world looking to find the most healthiest water in the world, and they found 5 regions in the world up in the mountains that the water was so healthy. The average person was living over 100. Bodies were working like 40 years old. And so the Japanese came back to Japan, the scientists, started looking at how can we take our toxic water that's full of atomic radiation and restore our water. So they first started looking at their reclamation plant, their water distilling system, and they had to advance that. They had to develop the most advanced water filtering system where the water first comes through before it could be sent to the people. And then they developed the machine, that when the water ran through this machine could create 7 different kinds of water from one water coming in. This machine could create a water that was equal to hydrogen peroxide. Have you ever had hydrogen peroxide put on your body, on your skin, Janice?
Yes, I have.
And when you put hydrogen peroxide on your skin, it turns it white, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Turns white. That means that it's burning your skin. They developed a water that's equal to hydrogen peroxide, but that would not burn your skin. You could brush your teeth with it. It will kill microbes in 3 seconds. In 3 seconds, it could kill E. coli, salmonella, all of these type of microbes. Japanese would take their food and run their food through this water to kill the microbes so that they would not be having E. coli callbacks of millions of tons of food. How often have you heard of E. coli callbacks in the last year, Janice? We've had it on our tomatoes. We've had it on our spinach. We've had it on our peanuts. We've had it on our meats.